Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Maisie and today the power is in your guys' hand. I am doing followers pick what I read for a week or a weekish. You're probably tired of hearing me bang on about this, but guys, I am in a really bad reading slump and I can't seem to get out of it, so I decided why not give the power to you, and I'm going to put my trust in you and hopefully we will battle this slump together. This week I will be posting polls on my Instagram story of which book I should pick up next. If you haven't already, make sure to go and follow me on Instagram so you can take part in these kind of videos in the future. But let's get into the first selection of books that I gave you to pick from. So I wanted to start off with fantasy romance, and the options I gave are A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stasia Stark, Fate of Rat and Flame by K.A. Tucker, and A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. These are actually all first books in a series. I guess a lot of fantasy romance books are series, so it's not that shocking. And these are all on my monthly TBR, so I thought it would be good to get one of these read. I haven't looked at the final results, but I did see yesterday where it was sitting, and I was a bit shocked at how extreme the voting has been on this one, because I kind of thought none of these books are super popular, but in the comments I've seen people talk about all of them. Probably especially A Fate of Wrath and Flame, to be honest, this is probably the one I was expecting people to pick, but when I last checked that wasn't what was happening. So let me just get up the Instagram poll and we can see where we're sitting. Okay, so we can see we have a clear winner, and that is A Dawn of Onyx. And I'm surprised by this. I've not really heard many people talking about it, although recently I do keep seeing it come up on my Instagram, but more like promotions from the author, because I think the next book is coming out this month actually. That's why I'd seen a bit more about it. But yeah, I don't know, I was really shocked that everybody seemed to vote for this one. As I said, it won by a lot. So yeah, this will be the first book that we read in this video. I'm actually filming this on Thursday and tomorrow I am going away until Monday. We have a wedding and yeah, we're away for the weekend. So I'm gonna take it with me and try to get as much reading as possible done, but I don't know how much time I'm actually gonna have for reading. So we will see. I'm actually glad this one was picked because I think this might be the shortest one. Downside, it's a hardback. Do I really want to travel around with a hardback? No, but it's fine. I'm excited to read it. Do I know anything about this? I don't even think I've read the blurb. I'm intrigued. I will talk to you more about it when I have read it and know a little bit more about what's the vibe, what's going on and how I'm feeling. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I got an intro filmed for this video because I guess I maybe will bring my camera with me over the weekend just so I can update you. Otherwise I won't be updating you until I'm home on Monday. So anyway, we will see. You don't need all of these boring details. I'm gonna go and hopefully I will get started on this a bit later today. Excuse if you can see the mess of this room behind me. We are in an Airbnb for the weekend, but I just wanted to check in with you about A Dawn of Onyx. So I am up to page 140. I've been a bit distracted with lots of things going on while I've been reading this so far, so I've not been reading it that fast, but I'm really enjoying it. The romance I think is going to be really good. The world building is quite simple at the moment, but interesting. It's kind of giving me slightly Hated Prisoner vibes, I would say, especially the romance. So in this book we are following our main character, Arwen must be her name, right? And there is a war going on in this universe. Specifically, the Onyx Kingdom are invading the Kingdom of Amber, which is where she is from. So her brother has been away at war. He kind of unexpectedly returns and they try to escape together as a family. However, things go wrong and she ends up being captured and is taken to the Onyx Kingdom where she is imprisoned. She also has a special ability as a healer. We don't know too much about it in terms of what it is. So she is currently in the Onyx Kingdom, and I don't really want to say anymore because I don't want to give things away. So I'm just going to leave it there, but I'm going to say the romance, I am loving the vibe, and yeah, I'm having a good time. hopefully I will finish this in the next couple of days and then we will be able to pick out our next book. So I'll probably check in with you when I'm doing the poll for the next book when I'm home, so we can get that up and get the results ready for when I finish this. So yeah, I will check in with you then. Hello everybody, I am back home now, as you can see. So yeah, we got home last night, well not last night, we got home at like 4 p.m. yesterday, and I basically just tried to sit and read for the rest of the evening, which I did, and I ended up finishing A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. I had such a good time reading this. It was just so good, it was everything I love. I mean, look, am I sitting here telling you that this is one of like the best books in the world and that everybody would love it? And no, I'm not. But I'm telling you, it was such a good time. The romance I was here for. The world building was really easy. I don't think the writing was like amazing, but it was fine. And yeah, I just loved it, and I think mainly that's because I loved the romance so much. And I've been kind of sitting thinking, what do I want to rate this? Is it a 4.5 star? I don't know. And I've actually just decided to settle on a 5 star. In the past year, I've given hardly any 5 stars. I've been so picky with my 5 stars, but I don't know why. I literally don't know why. And I've kind of turned a new leaf, and I'm deciding that any book that gives me that feeling that I just love and I don't want to put down, I'm going to be giving 5 stars to, and that's what I got with this. I'm obsessed with the romance, can't stop thinking about it, had a great time. I don't really have many qualms with this book. Qualms? Why did I sound so American? I don't know how you would say that, not in an American accent. Anyway, I didn't have many issues with this book. I just loved it, and I can't wait to read the second one. I've actually pre-ordered it. It comes out later this week, so yeah, I've pre-ordered it. Can't wait for that to arrive and to read it. I loved this. I know I gave a very like short synopsis in the last clip that I filmed. I don't want to say any more about it because I just don't want to give spoilers, but it was so good. If you're a fantasy romance lover, in fact, if you have read and enjoyed the Plated Prisoner series, I think you will definitely like this. I also think it could be for fans of ACOTAR. I'm not going to suggest that this is as deep and well planned out and stuff as ACOTAR. There's not as many characters and there's not that same complete found family vibe, not yet anyway. Specifically the romance in ACOTAR, if you like that, I think you will like this. So yeah, I'm giving this book 5 stars. It was a great way to start this video. So yeah, I have been in a reading slump. I think I said at the start of this video, I've been in a reading slump really badly, and that book really got me out of my reading slump. So I can't thank you guys enough for picking this book out of the options. I really didn't know which one I wanted to read, and it was a really good choice, so well done. Okay, and then I also, when we got home yesterday, knew that I was going to sit and finish that book, so I needed to post the poll for which book to read next, and I basically decided that I wanted to read a rom-com book kind of after that. So I had 2 off my TBR, which were Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is a YA romance in the kind of chess world. We have Love on the Brain, also by Ali Hazelwood, which is a STEM rom-com. I did actually think about just adding Bride as the other option and just having all Ali Hazelwood, but then I decided not to, and I just decided to stick to the rom-com theme, and I went with Practice Makes Perfect. This one was not on my monthly TBR, but I thought it would be a good one to include because, well, firstly, it's pink, like these two. Secondly, I loved When in Rome, and that was such a good, quick, easy, fun rom-com to get through. So I thought I'd include this one, and I know lots of people like this one as well. So I posted this on my Instagram story yesterday, and let's have a look at the results. I haven't actually looked at these yet, so I don't know what's won. I don't really know what would win out of these, to be honest. Probably I'm gonna guess not Love on the Brain because it's an older book. So I'm gonna imagine it's either Check and Mate or Practice Makes Perfect. Let's have a look. Okay, those are the results. I'm not sure if that's focused properly. If it's not, I'm gonna put a screenshot anyway. So we have Practice Makes Perfect as the winner with 57% of the vote. Then it was Check and Mate with 30%, and then Love on the Brain with 13%. I'm kind of happy with that because I think this will be a really quick one, and to be honest, I would kind of just like to get through this today so we can then move on to our last book tomorrow. And I think that that is kind of possible with this book. When in Rome, I flew through, so I'm hoping I will with this one as well. However, I also feel a little bit disappointed that this was picked because both of these these are on my monthly TBR, and I would love to finish my monthly TBR. But so far, I've literally read one book, and today is the, what day is it today? The 9th of April, and I've read one book from my monthly TBR. So we're not looking good. Anyway, I'm going to get started with this. It's actually a Tuesday today, so I am working today from home. So I probably won't be able to read too much until this evening, but we will see. And I will update you when I am further into this one. Wow, I look even worse than earlier. I went out in the wind and the rain, and yeah, it's not done wonders for me. Also, I'm not really wearing any makeup, so yeah. But I wanted to check in with you because I'm actually only about 100 pages into this so far, but I feel like I'm gonna get through it quite quickly, so I thought I would update you now, and also we would pick out our next 3 books for the poll, because I'm hoping to start the next one tomorrow. But first, a little check-in on Practice Makes Perfect. I'm liking it, but I'm definitely not liking it as much as When in Rome so far. I think that's because Annie is just not my favourite kind of female main character. She's just a bit too nice, and that sounds mean, but she is a bit too nice for me at the moment, and I just need a bit more from her. Will, however, I do really like. So anyway, what is happening in this is we have Annie, our female main character, and she wants to settle down. She wants to find a husband and get married, but she's really struggling and she feels like she's not good at dating. So Will agrees to help her, and Will doesn't believe in love, doesn't believe in marriage, he doesn't want any relationship. He has a bit of a soft spot for Annie though, and he basically agrees to help her be better at dating so she can find a husband. That's the plot. And as I said, I really like Will, but I'm not loving the plot. I don't know, there's just something about the plot that's just like not really for me. But it's still easy and quick to read, and as I said, I do like Will as a character. I like the way that he treats Annie and is nice to her, so yeah. That's where we are. As I said, I'm only 100 pages in, and I think the book is maybe like, how long is it? About 330 pages. So yeah, I'm hoping to read a lot more this evening and tomorrow morning, and then hopefully start, yeah, the next book later tomorrow. But let's pick out what books to choose for this next poll. Okay, so here is my TBR cart, and this top row is my TBR for the month, and to be honest, I kind of want to just pick books from this because, as I said earlier, I'm doing rubbish with my April TBR and I need to get through some books. So I think one that I definitely am going to pick is Ninth House. Realised these 2 didn't get chosen, so they need to go back on there as well. So yeah, I think I'm definitely going to do Ninth House because it's a bit different to any of the other books I've read so far, so I feel like that's a good choice, and also it's one that if it doesn't get picked, I just don't know when I'm going to feel in the mood to read it, so we'll choose that one. And then I don't really have any books that are the same genre as Ninth House. I believe it's dark academia. I don't know if there's any fantasy element to it, if it's like mystery, thriller, I don't have a clue. And I definitely don't, on my monthly TBR, have any books that are similar to that, and to be honest, I maybe don't even on my full TBR, I don't know. So it's going to have to be a bit of a mixed one this time. Obviously I want to choose books that I've not already chosen in the other polls. So I'm thinking of Faybound by Sarah L. Riffey. And then I think the other one I'm going to go with, not Love Redesigned at the back because I'm now reading a rom-com and I want something different. I think I'm going to go for Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands because it's a fantasy. Obviously we have already read a fantasy, but that was like a very much fantasy romance, whereas this is more fantasy and it's cozy fantasy. And Faybound, I don't know if that's a fantasy romance or just fantasy. I really don't know much about it. Okay, so there we have the poll ready, and we're going to post that to my story and we will see how that goes. I'm not sure what I want to win here. They're all on my TBR. I think Ninth House is probably the longest, 450, and I have a feeling it's maybe going to be like the hardest to read, or what will take me the longest. So this is the shortest one. So maybe I'm hoping this one will be chosen. Which one do I think will be chosen? Faybound is newer, so maybe people will be interested in this one. Ninth House is obviously quite old, but I did get quite a lot of comments on my TBR video saying that people loved this book, so who knows, maybe it could be this one. But yeah, my top choice would be this one, but I don't know because it's a sequel, so I don't know if people will vote for this one. So yeah, we will see. I will check in with you probably tomorrow when we will see which of these wins, and also my final thoughts on Practice Makes Perfect. Back here in the same position again. I hope you can't hear the rain. Or actually, maybe I do hope you can, because it's quite nice and calming. It is a horrible day today. But I need to give you an update because I finished Practice Makes Perfect this morning. What are my thoughts on this? It was okay. I enjoyed being back in our little Rome world. I think my feelings just haven't changed since I spoke to you when I was about 100 pages in. I just found Annie in particular a bit annoying, or maybe just not that relatable for me, I don't know. Basically, I just didn't connect that much with the romance. I didn't really care about it, but I still enjoyed it. It was just the romance wasn't that good for me. So I think I'm going to give this 3.25 stars. It was definitely nowhere near as good as When in Rome for me, which was a bit disappointing because I loved Will. Forgot his name already. I loved Will and I was expecting really good things, but I don't know, it was just a bit meh. I also don't think that much happened. It was just a bit boring. So yeah, 3.25 for that one. I don't think it's a bad book. I think it's a good palette cleanser. I think if you want something really quick and easy, it's a good book for that. But yeah, it didn't get me, you know? So obviously yesterday I posted the poll for the last book to be chosen, and we can look at the results now. So this is, I think, the closest vote that we've had so far in this week. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. And when I put these up against each other, I had absolutely no idea what was going to win. And yeah, it was close. Well, it was close between two books. So it was close between Faybound and Emily Wilde. Ninth House did not get very many votes, unfortunately, but Emily Wilde did win, which I was a bit surprised about because it's a sequel, and if you've not read the first book, you're probably not going to vote for the second book. But I do know loads of people adore this series and I loved the first book, so I am happy to jump into this one. And also this one is nice and short, which is good because I really only have a day and a half or so to read this. So I will catch up with you when I am into this book. I have an update. So I'm not sure if this is the best angle or lighting, but we're working with what we've got. So I am now 112 pages into Emily Wilde, and the first maybe 60 pages of this I was struggling with, I'm not gonna lie. For some reason it's been really confusing and like hard for me to follow, like I just don't understand anything. And that was kind of all mainly like while they were at Cambridge doing stuff. Anyway, now they have travelled and arrived in a village in Austria. I'm pretty sure they were going to Austria. And now it's feeling very much similar to the first book in terms of the vibes. It's giving cozy. I love the banter and the conversation and dialogue between Emily and Wendell in particular. I just love it. And it does feel very cozy. But I'm not gonna lie, it's not a quick read for me. I do find it quite hard to follow and complex, which I don't think I felt that way in the first one, but I don't know. Also, when I read the first one, I wasn't reading it for a video, so I was very much just reading it at my own pace, whereas this time I need to finish this book tomorrow. So I've kind of got to get a move on, and I think maybe that's why it's feeling like a bit of a struggle, because I'm like forcing myself to read it fairly quickly. I am enjoying it so far. I'm not sure at all where it's sitting rating wise. Like right now I literally couldn't pick a number out of the sky for this book, so hopefully by the time I finish it I will have a better idea of where it's sitting, and yeah, then we will wrap up this whole video. So I will check in with you probably tomorrow. filming in a really weird place for me right now, so I'm hoping that the lighting and stuff is okay. I'm just struggling for places to film today. But I have finished Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Also, just realised, yes, I am still wearing this jumper. I have worn it now for 3 days in a row. I'm sorry if that upsets you, but also I'm not really sorry because realistically I do wear the same jumpers all the time. I finished Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia. It's not even an Encyclopedia of Fairies. It's Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, which is of course the second book to Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely, oh yeah, the lighting's definitely not good, is it? Sorry about that. I would put you more in front of the window, but my house is on like a slope, and if I put you there, it's not straight. So we're gonna have to deal with some bad lighting, but maybe I'll just try and sit a bit closer so you can see things better. I struggled a little bit with this one at the start. I think actually throughout I found it a bit harder to follow, especially all of the like lore, and I don't know, I didn't necessarily find that in the first one. But in this one I definitely did, and I just kind of had to accept that I wasn't going to understand certain things and that it was going to be a little bit hard to follow. I love the romance in these books. Like, that is probably my favourite thing about these books, even though the romance is definitely very much a side plot. So if you're kind of going into these expecting full-on fantasy romance vibes, that's not what you're going to get. Like, it is a sliver of romance, and that felt especially true in this book. It felt like we didn't really make much progress, but I still enjoyed it. I still love the romance, still felt cozy. Also, it's really not too long, which is nice as well, because I think if this book had been longer I would have struggled. In terms of a rating, I can't remember what I rated the first book. I think I gave it 4.5 stars the first book. This one is not quite up there. I think I also thought that the plot in this one wasn't as interesting to me as the plot in the first book. So yeah, overall I think I'm going to give it 3.75, which is not a bad rating. I just don't think it can quite be a 4-star. And then obviously let's just do a full wrap up of everything that you guys, or those who participated over on Instagram, picked for me to read this week. And also just a reminder, if you don't already, go and follow me on Instagram if you want to take part in these kinds of videos in the future. In the coming months I think I'm probably also going to be doing a followers choose my TBR video, like monthly TBR. So yeah, definitely if you don't already, go and follow me on Instagram. I will leave it linked in the description. It's always in the description. But anyway, these are the 3 books that were chosen this week. So obviously we've just been through Emily Wilde, so I'm not going to go back over it. The first book was A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden, and I loved this book so much. I gave it 5 stars and I'm still sticking with the 5-star rating. I keep thinking about this book, and the second book has literally just come out. I've ordered it, although it doesn't arrive until next week, and I can't wait to pick it up. For me, this is very much a romantasy. It is heavy on the romance. In fact, it basically is a romance but set in a fantasy world, and I would say this book did what I wanted Powerless to do, but for me Powerless just didn't hit, but this one did. And I think that people who did like Powerless would also really like this. I think people who love the Plated Prisoner series would like this. I absolutely loved this. Definitely recommend. I hope to see more people reading it soon, and yeah, I can't wait to read the next book. So that is A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden, 5-star. This was a great pick, guys. I'm so pleased that you all picked this one. This one won really easily, I think, as well in that poll, which I was a bit surprised by, because it's not a book that I hear that many people talking about. But I was just, yeah, great pick, well done. Give yourselves a clap for that one. And then the second book was Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, and this one was good. It's definitely just kind of like, for me, a palette cleanser, typical rom-com. It was nothing amazing. I think I gave it 3.25 stars. Yeah. I definitely prefer When in Rome. That's my favourite Sarah Adams book. This one and The Cheat Sheet sit pretty level for me in my head. Not the most memorable, but also I do love this town and world and the character. Not sure what happened there. And the characters, and I enjoyed being back in it. So yeah, 3.25 stars. And then obviously we have just been through Emily Wilde, which I gave 3.75 stars. I liked it. It wasn't as good as the first one for me, but it's still nice and cozy. I still like the characters. I still love the romance. I think that just the main plot in this one wasn't as strong as the first one and was maybe a bit slower moving. So like the end of it, quite a lot happened and that was interesting, but the middle bulk, I don't know, it just felt like not that much happened at the start. So that is the end of this week of Followers Choose What I Read for a Week. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I have very much enjoyed doing it and it's been interesting to see which books people choose for me to read, because it's not necessarily the ones that I think people are keen for people to read and see thoughts on. So yeah, I may do another one of these videos in the future because I did have a good time with it, and to be honest guys, you've kind of cured my reading slump. I don't feel like I'm in a slump anymore, which is amazing. So yeah, thank you for that. Clearly you're better at picking books than I am. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, like and leave a comment below, and I would love to see you in the next one. Bye!